Hello everyone, welcome back. In this tutorial I will show you how to model that model and get that render. So it's gonna be a little different than the traditional models that I have done. I have used some deformers to get that shape. And also I will show you how to texture that without UV enveloping your object. And same stuff, Okay, let's get started. I will start with the image plane. Go to front view, press Shift and V, select back, select the image plane. It's perfectly in the center, so I don't need to change anything. I will start with the cube and switch to model mode, change the size of the cube. Now I can make that cube editable, press C. So I have gathered some reference images for our shape, and it looks like I need to bevel that point. No, sorry, before doing that, I need to select these polygons, right click, make an extrude inner, but make sure that you increase your maximum angle. Then I am gonna move that edge over here and move these points to here. For the bottom points, let's select these and push them back. I will move these up. So that side looks okay. Now let's work on here. I will just bevel that point. Then I'm gonna weld this point to that one. Move that point over here. Let's move these to here. Also, let's weld these. And I can move it over here. For the bottom, let's do the same thing. Let's move these up. But they don't touch the floor. They should touch the floor. To do that, I can make a line cut and connect these. Same here. Then switch to slide tool, press Ctrl and weld this point. That should make the bottom part perfectly flat. Yes. Now everything looks perfect except that side, but we are gonna do the same exact thing over here. So let's select that point, bevel that, merge these, and we don't need to move that. Can move it over here. And I will move these over here so that polygon will perfectly be flat. Or we can average that point by moving it up and down. Let's do it over here. Now I will move that point. And I need to move that as well. Let's scale this. Okay, everything looks fine. Now I will press Shift and add a bevel deformer. Where is that? Yeah. I will change my display to lines. So first thing first, I need to change my threshold to bevel these edges too. Let's lower the angle until we got every edge. Looks fine. I will increase my offset. Let's make it 3. Then I will increase my subdivision to 1. Now I will add another deformer, smoothing deformer, put it after bevel deformer. And you got this. Let's lower that a lot. Somewhere around here. Now, if you look at our shape, you will see that these bevels act like sporting edges. So let's put subdivision surface, press Alt and select subdivision surface. And let's change our view. This is before and after the smoothing deformer. And let's check the reference images. Yeah, not bad. Maybe we can lower that offset to 2. Now we can move on and start the model, delete. Let's switch to front view. I will create a new cylinder and put it over here. Let's change our display and scale our cylinder. So for that part, I will need more resolution than 16. If you ask why, because I will have this extrusion over here, and I will need a little higher poly count than that to avoid any pinching around here. I will show you that. Let's make it 1 height segments, and for the rotation segments, we don't need to go very high. Let's make it 24 and make it editable. I will make a look at around here, then select these polygons with live selection tool. So there's rectangle selection tool. Then press Ctrl and extrude. I will scale this. Then I will use a different technique. I will select all these edges. These. I think I need to scale that more. Yeah, now I will select these as well. Then I will right click, select bevel, but I will change my bevel mode to solid. And let's make something like that. We need to make some slides. These points are overlapping. Put that under our subdivision surface. But we need to make these into one group. Press Alt and G. Now I will let that cut. Actually, not see that face, so I can delete that. I see a triangle here, so let's select these and dissolve them. Yeah, no pinching, looks perfect, but we got some edges to solve, like this. I can dissolve these, so we got these quads. Also, I need to slide these points. You see that they are overlapping. Let's try to slide these. No. Let's try to do that with point slide. I can select these and scale them to 0. Same for these. Okay, now I can select these polygons. And push this back, down delete. Or I want to leave one polygon. Let's deselect these ones and extrude these, down delete. Now let's select these edges, press Ctrl and extrude. We may need to push this back. Okay, I think this is enough. We are not gonna look at that object with a microscope. You will probably have that angle, so don't worry about that, and we have no pinching. Perfect. Now I will select these polygons, split them, and move them like that. I will select them all, right click, Select extrude. Let's enable subdivision surface and at the spotting edges, I will make it solo. And at these, oh no, we have no polygons for the inside. So let's quickly do that. Select them, press Ctrl, extrude. These are gonna be enough. I will quickly turn off these deformers and select that face. I see that it is not perfect, flat. Let's change our orientation of the world and scale that to 0. Now it should be perfect, flat. I will lower these polygons. You don't want to see the inside. I will add these loop cuts, press Shift, and at these, I don't want to leave polygons like that. It may cause some stretching or texturing. So at these, and maybe we can add that one. These are gonna be, I will use materials for this. So these are not very important, but I suggest you to do this for cylindrical objects. And I will let that loop cut over here so I can get rid of that stretching. All right. Also, I will dissolve some of the edges. I will leave one behind them or between. Then dissolve these. Yes. I will not UV unwrap these objects because I will use material projections. And before starting to render, I'm gonna scale that bottle. Let's create a cube for a reference. I will change its sizes to 15 centimeters. Then let's switch to front view. I will turn off that image plane. First thing first, I will enable axis and put it right here. So it's gonna be easier for me to scale that and move it. Let's scale that until it fits in that cube. Or it could be slightly bigger than that. It's not very important. I can delete that cube. Now my subdivision surfaces axis will be really off. I can just delete that and put a new subdivision surface. This is gonna fix that. Off recording, I made that simple scene, just a cube as a room, then these simple boxes, and a camera with, I believe, yes, 95 focal length. I also set my resolution to 1000 to 1200. Now let's go to our model. Oops. Let's go to our model scene, Control C, press V, go to that scene, and I am gonna paste that over. Let's go to perspective view, and I will use Cinema 4D's new place tool. Let's select that and make sure that you selected your null or subdivision surface and click here. Let's switch to our camera. I can slightly move that. I also forgot to change my layout. Let's change it to standard. I will click Live Viewer window, Octane, and I will lock it over here. And let's hit render. First thing first, let's change our render settings. I will change it to GI or path tracing. We don't need that much samples. I will lower these. Now I am gonna create an area light. Let's go to front view and move it right here. This is gonna act like a sunlight from a window. Obviously it is too much. I will set it to something like 25. or 20. For my camera, I will add an octane tag. Enable camera imager. Let's make it 0.5. I will change my color space to HDRI sRGB. Maybe here. Let's render. Also, I'm gonna lock my resolution. Let's go to our camera and I will increase my highlight compression. Alright, lighting looks good. I will pause that and I will create my first material. Let's go to create extension plugins. It's a long way. Obtain material. Let's keep it as diffuse. For the diffuse, let's select something like, and I will apply this to all these objects except our bottle. And make sure that you turn off the clear mode. I will pause that, and this time I will create my bottle material. Why don't we just copy that? I will open Node editor and search for image texture, and I will load that artwork which I made in Photoshop. But make sure that you save that artwork as a transparent background so I can change the color whatever I want in Cinema 4D. Let's switch back to Cinema 4D. I will import that artwork. Change my type to alpha because it has a transparent background. This time I will search for RGB spectrum. I will mix them with the mix node. The color goes first and the texture goes as second. I will link that texture to my diffuse. Let's select a color, something like that. So you can see that I can change the bottle's color whatever I want with that way. So you don't have to go to Photoshop, select the color and go back. Let's close that. As I said, I didn't make any unwrapping for this bottle because I will use projection. Let's apply it to our cube, or let's rename that to bottle. Lead 1, lead 2. First thing first, let's select our material and change projection to flat. Switch to texture mode and scale that. And rotate it 180 degrees. And let's put it over here. Turn off texture mode. I will save that and render that. Yeah, it looks fine, but let's change it to material type to glossy. Let's give some more index, 0.5, and some roughness. Now let's make something for the leads. I will just duplicate that one. Open Node editor. I can delete that. Let's first look for a mixed material and a normal material, octane material. This one, let me make that full screen. That one should be black and it should be glossy. This one has some roughness like 0.4. I will duplicate that one, press Ctrl and duplicate this. This one will be more metallic. Let's lower the roughness to 0.1 and increase the index to something like 0.5. Then I'm gonna mix this. So it's gonna act like car paint material. Now let's pause that render, go back to perspective view. I will make some duplicates. I will duplicate that one. Let's rename that to bottle 1, bottle 2. I will use that place tool one more time and place it over here. One more duplicate, bottle 3, and let's move it over here, over here. Let's switch to our camera. Yes, it should be on that box. Now I will switch to the move tool and make some adjustments like moving these ones. And I will duplicate that material for the bottle label. And I will change that RGB to something different. Let's make that greenish color. I will make one more duplicate. This time, let's make it orange. So I'm gonna assign that orange one to the second one. That green one to third one. Now let's render. Alright, not bad. I will go to my camera settings. Let's add some depth. I will increase my aperture to 0.5 and enable focus and select my bottle. Let's give some randomness, like moving this, rotating this. So I want a perfectly centered camera. I will select my camera, go to coordinates, and I am facing the X, so I am slowly move my camera, and that looks fine. I will stop right here. You can change the settings like lighting, camera settings, more exposure. You can even add some post-processing like bloom. That's too much. A subtle effect will be enough. Okay, let's keep it that way. Alright guys, that is it. If you have any questions, just ask it in the comments or mail me, or you can join our Discord group. Also, you can get the scene files from my Patreon. I see you in the next tutorials. Have a good day. Bye.